help me holding on, 'cause I still feel your hello, hello. I know that I'm
WWE Royal Rumble. You win the Royal Rumble, you're in the main event at WrestleMania.
Except when you're not. What do you bet the Big Show is wondering why WWE set up the stage so that every wrestler has to turn in zigzag directions just to make it to the ring? Because that's what I'm asking. To the right now. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. Once in this time.
Tonight's Royal Rumble match.
A Royal Rumble match with only 29 participants confirmed. I get we have a feud going on here with Brock Lesnar, the Big Show, and Paul Heyman, but couldn't both these guys just be in the Royal Rumble match?
And from Minneapolis.
Brock Lesnar had to go in so many directions just to get through the curtain that his sense of direction is making him go back and forth on the stage. Oh wait, he always does that. Sorry, the weird stage setup still gets me.
The Big Show!
There must be a leak in the ceiling because it's literally raining on this side of the stage area. Frickin' Boston.
Hanging in the balance. And there is the power.
That was less of Big Show's power and more of Brock Lesnar slipping on a wet floor. Maybe the stage isn't the only place that's wet from the weird rain. Even if it's not the first time we've seen it, this is still worth praising. The Big Show and Brock Lesnar had near perfect chemistry throughout their matches. Why doesn't the referee do one of two things here? Call for the disqualification, allowing Brock Lesnar to win the match, or eject Paul Heyman from ringside for putting his hands on the in-ring competitors? Pick one, please.
Hand around the nail slicer with a great.
Jesus, that just might be more impressive than a suplex or an F5 onto the Big Show. The fact that Brock Lesnar managed to get Show into a pinning predicament that fast speaks volumes about his abilities. Holy shit. Paul Heyman literally betrayed Brock Lesnar and cost him the WWE Championship back in Survivor Series. But the moment Brock finally gets his hands on Paul, he takes all the time in the world not beating the crap out of him.
We got some incoming, Dale.
The pyrotechnics really got to work on their timing with the Dudley Boys music here, if I'm being honest.
Presents WWE.
Skip! Even though I love PS2, one of the best consoles from PlayStation for sure. Well, because the camera was hanging around the raining area of the stage, now we got the lens all wet. Well done.
Going over. And you got.
Last year, William Regal had 2 sets of brass knucks hidden inside his trunks, and this very same referee managed to find the first pair. But 1 year later, with the same situation, the referee checks the pads and the boots and figures there's nothing hiding within the Regals. WWE couldn't even come up with a new Tag Team Championship graphic now that we got new designs for the belts. Wow, what an amazing and creative submission hold by Bubba Ray Dudley. He should be using that as a finisher for sure. And the sin goes to the fact that he never will. Unnecessary orders by Bubba Ray Dudley. Lance Storm prematurely declaring that Devon Dudley is done and the match is over. Guess who just jinxed this team's momentum? The power of the jiggle belly will give me the strength I need to get out of this. I'm not calling him fat, I'm just saying that he jiggled his belly to get out of this predicament and I found it hilarious. This referee always annoyed me with his heel character, and when he clearly lifted up Lance Storm's shoulder, I got more irritated for all the wrong reasons. Heel referees is the dumbest thing next to heel commentators.
It's gonna be over here.
Can we just throw in 5 cents because of the referee being an obvious asshole? That way I don't gotta deal with him again. Good guys or bad guys, victory by means of brass knuckles behind the referee's back is always a sin. Turnabout is fair play, but sinning about is also fair play.
A stepmother and a stepdaughter.
So basically it's Cinderella versus Lady Tremaine, just without the actual emotion heading into it. Gotcha. You know what's awkward and sad? This entire promo package between Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie is longer than the actual match that takes place. And then Dawn Marie accidentally walks into the raining part of the stage because she can't see shit. Since when has asking wrestlers if they're sure about competing against their rivals been a thing? Have seen hundreds of rivalries, many more personal than this one, and not once did the referee ask if they're sure about going through with it.
Tori Wilson. Oh, Dawn knocked down.
Okay, that was weird. Was that supposed to be a meeting of the minds? Because if so, that didn't work.
Puts the leg on Dawn.
We are literally in a repeat of 2002 here. The first 3 matches are done within the first 30 minutes of this 3-hour event. And as a result of the quick matches, this event lasts only 2.5 hours. Why not give them actual time here?
Just wondering what your bombshell might be.
Sure, let's reveal the bombshell announcement set for Monday Night Raw right here, right now, while the cameras are rolling.
Blood is thicker than urine.
What? The commentators should consider themselves lucky that they're not being rained on the whole night. How funny would it be if it cuts to them and they're both completely soaked? You can't beat me, which means that you're about to beat me cliche. Heard that one several times. Honestly, Triple H could just walk over to the reigning side of the stage if he wanted to douse himself with water. Then he can have more water to spit into the air.
I'm not putting up with any crap from you.
I'm not going to put up with any crap tonight, which means I absolutely will be putting up with your crap tonight. I don't even know why I'm giving y'all these instructions knowing full well you're just going to ignore them the moment the bell rings, but halla motherfucking luya. Why doesn't Earl Hebner just eject Ric Flair from ringside right now, knowing full well of his reputation of being the dirtiest player in the game? Might as well take advantage of your authority now before things get too ugly later on. Scott Steiner chops Triple H one time and then just stands around waiting for Hunter to hit him back, when he could just be chopping him again and again to further weaken the champion.
Steiner cannot win this match. A disqualification or count out.
By that wording, Hunter can't be disqualified or counted out at all. Is this one of those matches where one can get disqualified but the other can't?
They are in the way.
Part of me thinks Scott Steiner tried to trip the referee on purpose. Guarantee it would have knocked him out too, as the referees are more fragile than glass. Scott Steiner looks to lock in a camel clutch, but let's make sure Hunter is as close to the ropes as possible so that Ric Flair can easily yank him out of there. What could possibly go wrong with that strategy? The referee, after declaring he wasn't going to put up with Ric Flair's crap, sees Ric Flair pull Hunter out of the ring and chooses to put up with Ric Flair's crap. See? Told you. The referee completes his 5 count, which by the rules means that Hunter has been disqualified. Why is the risk of a disqualification even a cause for concern, if I'm being perfectly honest? They're never going to actually do it in high-stake matches like this one. I feel like a majority of these sins are being directed at the referee, especially after that overdramatic speech before the match started. Earl counts Hunter for being on the top rope now, but never for any other time this has ever happened. That was a 2 count. You can tell it was because I just shoved my fingers in your face and almost poked you in the eyes. Acknowledge my fingers! After suplexing my opponent several hundred times, I too would be extremely dizzy to the point where I lose my balance and fall on a Tiger Driver attempt.
If the referee stops the match now, that saves the title.
Actually, no, it wouldn't. If Hunter was deemed unable to continue, that is a technical submission and it would award Scott Steiner the World Heavyweight Championship. Maybe Ric Flair is secretly working with Scott and wants him to be champion by any means necessary. I would praise Earl Hebner for choosing not to disqualify Hunter after seeing right through the champion's tactics, but he ends up doing it anyway, making this dramatic moment a complete waste of time.
Scott Steiner.
Triple H is addicted to Scott Steiners.
Look out, there you go.
That has got to be the slowest throw of a sledgehammer I've ever seen. Even when Scott was already blocking, let's go as slow as possible and not make it look believable. What we're about to see is an amazing classic wrestling match between Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. It's just a shame that the entire build-up to this was based off of the inevitable Kurt Angle vs. Brock Lesnar match for WrestleMania 19. Again with the reigning stage causing the camera to be covered in water. I can't see shit here. Whose bright idea was this?
Has been ejected. That ain't cool. That ain't right.
Obviously Taz is playing the heel asshole character, but he also just saw Team Angle attack Chris Benoit before the match can begin. So it actually is fair that they're being ejected here. Man, the timekeepers really like ringing the bell before the referees ever actually call for the match to begin, don't they?
For the past couple of months, Chris Benoit has Kurt Angle's number.
Oh, okay, then that guarantees Kurt Angle is going to win this match. That's how it usually works. Challenger gets the upper hand over the champion during the build-up, but then loses the actual title match itself.
Side headlock as this matchup is.
This asshole in the red shirt.
Oh, nice legs by Chris Benoit. Leg drag and screw.
Early on in this match, we see excellent submission counters from both Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. This is the moment I figured we are in for an amazing WWE Championship match. I'd very hope it is, because the previous matches so far have been mid.
Former tag team champions back in the day.
And by back in the day, we mean literally 2 months ago. Unless Taz is being sarcastic, he doesn't seem to realize it wasn't that long ago.
There is no athlete as intense as Chris Benoit.
There is no wrestler as intense as the one we're watching in the ring cliche, and that usually has been said for almost every intense wrestler, so I doubt it's true. Why would this referee want to get this match over with by a quick count? We're talking 2 amazing pro wrestlers putting on a classic wrestling match and we're doing fast counts?
Stand up there.
Why cut away to a camera angle that could obviously not see the barricade? The first camera angle would have perfectly captured Chris Benoit getting thrown into it. Damn technicians.
Here's the #1 contender.
Jesus, you could hear that smack from the nosebleed section. Goes to show it's not just the mat wrestling that made this match so exciting. Both Kurt and Chris made that collision sound extremely brutal. You'll love to see it.
Oh yeah, bam! Angle breaks. Switch German into his own.
It's one thing to see Chris Benoit hit multiple German suplexes, but to see Kurt Angle counter and take his turn to do the same thing, I think that's deserving of 2 sins taken off the counter. Great wrestling, great counters. Copyright infringement, even if this is a great wrestling match, an infringement is still a sin.
Locked in. Oh, there it is. Angle counter.
Wow. Just wow. This is so freaking amazing and perhaps one of the best WWE Championship matches in Royal Rumble history.
It's another one right now. I ain't got it. Look at this. Oh, my God.
Honestly, fight forever. At this rate, it's going to be extremely tough for the Royal Rumble match to top this amazing classic. The fact that this match ended with Kurt Angle refusing to release the ankle lock for a good 2 minutes, no matter what Chris Benoit tried to do to get out of it, these two great wrestlers deserve a removal of 20 sins for 20 great minutes of pro wrestling. Guarantee those who watch this match would also agree with me on that. There was a camera hanging out on the floor just on the very case that Kane would approach Rob Van Dam in this menacing fashion.
I will not hesitate to eliminate you.
You're my partner, but it's every man for himself in the Royal Rumble, and I will not hesitate to eliminate you in the match cliche. I do give props to Shawn Michaels for having guts on choosing to enter at number 1 because he's won the Royal Rumble in the past from that number. However, he's only been back for a few months, and I don't think this is a smart idea, and it doesn't even work out for him in a good way either. Obviously, Chris Jericho has a plan here with Christian, but I still gotta send the Royal Rumble match for giving away who's entering at number 1 and number 2. I don't mind knowing who's in the match, but I'd rather not know who's entering when. Even despite seeing that it's obviously Christian on the stage, Howard Finkel still introduces him as Chris Jericho. I guess maybe their identities are truly switched for the night. It is confirmed and I will stand by it. Christian is addicted to Shawn Michaels and a pre-match assault at the same time. 2 sins for the price of 1. Obvious information we knew from the ring introductions that were literally shown on the screen less than 2 minutes ago. Here's to hoping that Christian didn't accidentally break Shawn Michaels' hand from that chair shot. The referee yells at Christian for bringing a chair into the ring despite the fact that the Royal Rumble match has no disqualifications. He even got into the ring to tell him off too. Christian is allowed to use a chair if he wants to, asshole. Poor Shawn Michaels. I get that this is setting up for a big match against Christian, who will hopefully be under his original identity at WrestleMania 19. But there was this big deal about Shawn returning to the Royal Rumble match for the first time since 1996, and he doesn't get a single bit of offense and is eliminated in 2 minutes. Even if Christopher Nowinski just arrived a few seconds ago, I already forgot he was around.
Nowinski now slithering into the ring.
Christopher Nowinski doesn't slither into the ring because he is nowhere in sight, and when he is next shown, he is still hanging outside the ring. I know that Rey Mysterio was supposed to hit a facebuster, but that looked more like Christian countered with a powerbomb and Rey simply no-sold it. Both Edge and Rey Mysterio had the opportunity to eliminate Christian together, but they choose to toss him into the ring post instead. Something tells me this mistake is coming back to bite them in the ass. Not gonna lie, this sequence had me on edge, no pun intended. Edge shoves Rey Mysterio, who flips him over the top rope, and Edge's feet almost touched the floor before he saved himself at the last millisecond. Now that is how a great Royal Rumble save is done.
And Christian going right.
Chris Jericho enters the match and immediately hugs his longtime friend Edge as if they didn't split up on bad terms. Chris Jericho is an idiot.
Look out, Nowinski.
Poor Christopher Nowinski couldn't even eliminate Rey Mysterio and Edge when both were in an electric chair position, and then he prematurely celebrates. Guess it's bye-bye for Christopher. This one miscommunication actually ended Christopher Nowinski's career, or at least was the beginning of the end. Accidents happen all the time, and it really shows that one mishap can be the end of it. Yeah, sure, yell out 619 so that any opponent on the ropes can know it's coming and have a 100% chance of countering.
One of my favorite announcers on SmackDown as well.
That's phenomenal.
Jerry Lawler pulling out the every Japanese person must be the same guy card. What an asshole, am I right? Tajiri was doing a good job simply by having Chavo Guerrero in that modified octopus-like submission. All the spinning did was cause him to lose his grip and save Chavo from possible elimination or back pain. If Chris Jericho wants to eliminate Chavo Guerrero, he's doing an absolutely terrible job. It's like he's not even trying to get Chavo over the top rope, much less out of the ring. Not gonna lie, that was a brutal concerto-like move by Christian and Chris Jericho using the trash can lids on Tommy Dreamer's head. When the match gets hardcore, it's fun.
Ability, in my view.
Tajiri scream. Gotta say, even if B squared lasted only 20 seconds, that had to be one of the most brutal eliminations of the match. Falling off the corner and then crashing on his shoulder. Good thing he didn't break anything because holy shit, that was insane. Christian actually believes that Rob Van Dam will spare him simply because of his begging for mercy. Oof.
Double team effort, and Van Dam avoided the
Rob Van Dam is fucking amazing with his athleticism. That had to be perfectly timed, and he did it, well, perfectly.
trying to load up.
Eddie Guerrero was the fresh wrestler in the match, and Rob Van Dam has a chance to put an end to that. But instead, he perches himself in an elimination-prone position to do his signature RVD chant. Just one single trip and he's out of there. That ain't a risk worth taking, even if you're Rob Van Dam.
Shouldn't be brother against brother.
I just love the way Jeff Hardy refuses to help his brother knowing Matt Hardy is full of shit. His expression never changes, and a yap 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 gesture with his hand.
Trying to help Matt.
The referees are telling Shannon Moore to stop helping Matt Hardy, even though there are no rules against this and Shannon can do whatever he wants. At least I think there are no rules. I've had my fair share of the Royal Rumble rules alternating year after year. Well done, Shannon. You just caused Matt Hardy to get sandwiched in your attempt to protect him from the incoming Swanton Bomb. How he's still hanging out with Matt after this baffles me.
Look out.
Test tries to eliminate Christian and believes that he succeeded, so he turns away to focus on someone else. That always irks me in Royal Rumble matches. If you're going to eliminate someone, at least make sure you got the job done.
I can batter you naked with no clothes on.
Batter you naked with no clothes off? I'm sorry, what?
It doesn't matter, kid.
I just love how John Cena continues his freestyle rap and everyone in the ring is just ignoring him. I guess nobody could see John Cena even in 2003. Normally, Jeff Hardy has no problem getting to the top rope and jumping off, but at the convenient moment Rob Van Dam eliminates him, he has trouble balancing on the rope, without anybody causing the ropes to bounce either. Oh well, Royal Rumbles were never Jeff Hardy's specialty.
Better than to change his luck here.
John Cena standing around wondering if Rikishi was ever going to kick him, or he just wanted a horizontal view of Rikishi's ass.
No, don't do it.
Hey Jamal, Rikishi just gave the 3-minute warning a 3-second warning for the impending stink face. Gotta love a good family feud.
11 in 2000.
I know that Slow Chemical was Kane's best entrance theme, no doubt, but he's been in the ring for 10 seconds, you forgot to turn the music off.
Jericho gone. Is he gone? I can't see it.
Holy shit, that was one of the most insane Royal Rumble saves I have ever seen. Christian with amazing strength to keep his feet literally a millimeter away from the floor. Even looking back on it, I cringed with how close it was. Taking 3 sins off the counter for that great moment.
From the University of Minnesota.
Poor Charlie Haas. When he entered the Kurt Angle's music, the audience gave him the "you suck" treatment, but when Shelton Benjamin entered to the same music, he did not get the "you suck" treatment.
Yeah, we're gonna see it right here.
For a ring full of wrestlers, that one side is conveniently empty. Maybe Booker T paid them all to stay on that side so he can execute the spinneroonie without me calling out the flaws. Whoops, too late. This had to be awkward for A-Train. He makes his entrance for the Royal Rumble and the camera barely gets him in the frame as a result of not directly pointing at the entry door. It took Shawn Michaels about 44 minutes into the Royal Rumble match before he decided to go after Christian for that stunt he pulled with Chris Jericho. He wasn't even that hurt either when he got eliminated in the first 2 minutes. Either Goldust has had enough of being featured with Bizarre Dreams Productions, or he was telling the cameraman to get out of the way. If it was the latter reason, the cameraman is not even in your way.
There's my pick right there. Batista.
Jerry Lawler and his never-ending change of his original pick to win the Royal Rumble match. Always irritating. Immediately upon entering his first Royal Rumble match, Brock Lesnar is instantly dominating and tossing out Team Angle and Matt Hardy with that crazy F5. That's how I figured he had the best chance of winning the Rumble match. Here comes the pain indeed. Sorry it took me so long to make it here. My engine was stalling for some reason. Am I too late to enter the Rumble match? Poor John Cena gets eliminated and then has Jamal knocked into him on the ladder's way out of the Rumble match. The funniest part of Maven getting his comeuppance by The Undertaker is Kane just standing at the corner enjoying the show with a smile on his face.
Had that match earlier tonight with a big show.
One last time, I remove a sin for the crazy athleticism of Rob Van Dam. It amazes me how he's able to balance himself on one leg after spinning around, followed by spinning the other direction to kick A-Train. And that is why you should never trust even your partner in the Royal Rumble match, RVD, especially if that partner is Kane. Brock Lesnar just can't seem to get into proper positioning for the Tombstone Pile Driver. Hard to believe, but this happens again 11 years later, too. My, how the tables have turned on Kane. Tricks Rob Van Dam into teaming with him only to throw him out. Then he gets tricked by The Undertaker into teaming up only to get thrown out. Karma's a bitch. Brock Lesnar wins the Royal Rumble match and WWE plays the wrong theme music. You dumbasses.